Hey guys, how we going? What is up? Welcome to the stream. So this is probably the latest stream I've ever done. I think I was gonna stream like 2 hours ago, actually almost 3 hours ago, but magic word, I slept in, and then I had to take. I'm guessing most of you know my dog Cal. I had to take my dog Cal to. What's a more masculine word to use? The barber. The dog barber to get, he's like nails and have a bit of a wash and stuff like that. So that's why the stream's a bit late. And that's why there was no video today as well, because I was planning on streaming, then that got delayed, and now I'm streaming now. There's the really cool story. Obviously you can tell the title of the stream. We'll get into that topic in a second, but welcome everyone to the stream. Hopefully you're having a good day. The groomer. Yeah, Jaws came in with the correct term that I could not think of at the top of my head. But welcome everyone to the stream. Hope you're having a good day, or night, or early morning, or like 4 a.m. If it's that time, then wow. But yeah, welcome to the stream and hope you're having a good day, depending on what time it is. So I'm just reading through the chat. Sorry. 24-hour stream. I don't think I struggle to do an hour, so God knows how I do 24. But yeah, so I look high. It's probably just because I'm tired. You know what I mean? So I'm just getting my thing up on my screen. Okay, here we go. I just need to bring up a point of reference that I want to read out. So I'm just reading through the chat quickly before we jump into everything. Supergirl is about to be on in an hour. I think no, Supergirl's off this week. I think because it's President's Day or something. It's like a public holiday in America. Or yesterday was. So it's a long weekend or something. So Supergirl's not on this week. It's on next week. Will this be a video later? I might do a video because the thing is that more information is going to be coming out in the next couple of days. So this will be a video with much more information. Will be out on all of this, like the Cisco issue, on the weekend most likely, or maybe like Friday. You know, but towards the end of the week. You know what I mean? Oh, the Grammys are on tonight. Really? The Grammys are on? Isn't there like another awards ceremony on tonight as well? Anyway, whatever. I knew they were off last week because of the Super Bowl, but okay, anyway. So yeah, just to jump into the general, what would you call it? The procedure of the stream. Try and be nice and civil in the chat. Don't try and be edgy, because edgy just equals a bit lame, to be completely honest. So don't try and be edgy, because everyone's just going to look at you and go, wow, that person's an idiot. So try not to do that. Just be nice and civil, have a nice conversation, get back and forth between what we're talking about in the live stream. If you want to help support the channel or get your question 100% answered or your comment 100% out, you can super chat by clicking the dollar emblem down the bottom. It's like a block with a dollar emblem. Click that, you can donate to the channel and get all that stuff done. Or you can click the link at the top of the description, which does say streamlabs.com/Pagey, and you can donate through those means as well. And it basically works the same way, I think, except on Streamlabs you can pay through PayPal instead of card or something like that. Anyway. Yeah, so just looking through the chat quickly before we jump into everything. BAFTAs and Grammys, that's it. I knew there was another award ceremony on. BAFTAs is the other one. Bebo will replace him. Okay, so Cisco. We've been talking. I think I was the first person to talk about this. I'm doing a big all because we're going back a while. All the way back before the season even started, when there was a thing of leaks. Now that leak thing, I think like a lot of that has come true. I'd have to actually go back and read them and get like a checklist and just see what happened. But from memory, a lot of that has happened. Like there's stuff about Wally and stuff like that in that leak thing as well. But then I remember being told separately that I included that in that leaks thing, that there was a possibility that they didn't confirm it at that stage, but there was a possibility that Cisco or Carlos Valdez would be leaving at some point during season 5 or towards the end. But season 5 would be his last as a main cast member. They didn't say he was leaving the Arrowverse as a whole. They didn't say he was going to completely go. But as a main cast member, where he's in like, you know, the majority of episodes in the season, this would be his last one. So I remember doing. Some of you guys might remember me talking about that. That was a while ago, so you might not remember it. But some of you might remember it. So hopefully at least one person remembers it, because I remember specifically talking about it. But then about, what, 3 weeks ago or something? I can't remember when it was, but there was another... I did a video on it, so maybe like 2.5 weeks ago. There was more information that Carlos Valdez was leaving, but it was more attached to the fact that the storyline that had been brought up on The Flash about him, like, you know, Cisco wants to make metahuman cure, and then he was going on about how he enjoyed not being a metahuman so much, and he wanted to start a family, have a, you know, get a wife, have a kid, because everyone else has a family, but he doesn't. It's a bit of an average storyline to write someone out of the show, but it still works, I guess. And then obviously, we've just had episodes where he's just not there throughout the season, where Cisco's just not there, and they go, oh yeah, he's in the North Pole doing some stuff. So the show's basically getting us, you know, the viewers, used to Cisco not being there, so it's not that much of a shock when he does leave. Which I guess works, but it's also just so blatantly obvious. Just quickly, Dan McFrig donated £2. Thank you very much for that. I have work in the morning, so I'll stay. It's 2 a.m. Okay, fair enough, Dan. Thank you for that. I'm just looking through the chat quickly. There are a lot of articles about him. Yeah, but the thing is, I think it doesn't really matter. There could be 100 articles, but the thing is, it's all coming from one information thing. And like, no one actually, I think at this point, the only information we really have too much is that the reps are sort of avoiding questions about it. But hopefully, like, I don't know, we might get stuff in the next couple of days. Maybe discussing film might drop something, who knows. President's Day is next week. Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not American, so I don't know. I'm just looking through the chat quickly. Hello from Greece. I can't say your name. I'm sorry. It's in yeah. I don't think I'd be able to do anything like read anything like that. Just looking through the chat quickly. Yeah, but in regards to how he's going to leave, we have that Camilla character coming in who is going to be in this week's episode of The Flash, like the girl that Cisco met at the bar, not last week, the week before. So she's going to be in this episode. So I'm guessing that's Cisco's gateway, not a gateway drug, but his gateway out of the show. Now, I have a feeling that he might still appear in next year's crossover. I just don't think, unless he completely loses his powers. If Cisco completely loses his powers, he takes the cure, which is probably what's going to happen. Then maybe he might not appear next season. It just depends what happens with him. Like if they completely like kill off Vibe, so like, technically it's the death of Vibe, not the death of Cisco. Then we might not see him next season. But if he does leave and he maybe still has his powers, then we could see him come back for the crossover. But I don't know. And for those wondering, in regards to like what do you call it? The reason why Carlos is leaving, not the reason why Cisco's leaving, but the reason that Carlos Valdez, who's playing Cisco, is leaving. Back then, all the way back before the season started, it was that he wanted to get back into theater. So if you don't know, like Carlos is like a theater dude. Like the Flash, well, the Arrowverse as a whole is like his only TV stuff. Like if you remember back to when Cisco and Caitlin first appeared on Arrow back in season 2 of Arrow, that was Carlos Valdez's first TV appearance ever. So the Flash and like Arrowverse and all of that is his first TV stuff, but outside of that, it's basically all theater stuff. I think he's been in like 2 movies now, or maybe 3, as like side characters, but like he's basically just a theater dude, and that's what he wants to get back into because, as was remembered earlier, that's where he sees his future, which I think I can understand that as well. Like he went to university and did all that stuff, so. But yeah, the big issue that comes from Cisco leaving is like, he's such a big part of the team. You know what I mean? Like he's the engineer of the Star Labs for one, but also he is just like a what do you call it? He's just like, I wouldn't say comedic relief all the time, but he's just a icebreaker. I always like to say he's an icebreaker in certain situations. Isn't it just contract renewal time anyway? Contract renewal time. There's no such thing as contract renewal time. Contract renewal time could be episode 1 of season 1 or episode 16 of season 4. They just happen randomly. Contract renewals. They're not going to wait right till the end to renew your contract because that's how things get stuffed up. It's like when you have a sport team, you're not going to wait till the last year of your best player's contract, who's worth a lot and a lot of people want him on, to take him, just re-sign him, because then he's just going to be able to go, no, I'll just leave. You know, they're not going to do that. That's, you don't leave contract renewal till the last minute. Weed Thrasher with the $2. Thank you very much for that. Maybe that's why writing for him has been so bad in season 5. I wouldn't say it's been bad. It's just been super weird. It's just been very un-Cisco-like, which is the issue. They mentioned a Breacher last episode. Is he coming back? I think it's just more of a reference to the Breacher thing. But that brings up a good point. Let me know in the stream chat, because I think a lot of you would agree with me. Even though we wouldn't have had him this season, if you like care about the Cisco character, this would have been a better exit point than probably what they're doing this season. Do you think last season with the Cisco and Gypsy storyline, they should have written Cisco out of the show and made him go with Gypsy back to Earth 19, where was she from? Do you think they should have done that? That should have been his story, and that's where he leaves. So he leaves with his powers. He goes and lives with be with Gypsy. There's none of that Cisco being emotional at the beginning of this season. I think that would have been the better way to write him out of the show. And technically, not even writing him out of the show. Like, the way they're doing it this season, if he loses his powers, like, what do you do with Cisco in the future? You can't come back and be Vibe. If anything, you'd come back for a cameo episode, just say, hello, I'm here, and do nothing. But if he leaves with Gypsy in that episode, it just opens up more where he can come back and, like, say, like, Christ and Infinite Earths, be Vibe, and then also be Cisco. I think they should have written him out at that point in season 4, with a couple of episodes to go as well, and he should have gone to be like the new Breacher or whatever it was. But like change that position up where he's not so scary, like Gypsy's father was. So I think that's what they should have done. I think in hindsight and looking back, I reckon that's what they wish they had done, because I don't think Cisco's going to get a good ending on the show. I think it would be half decent. It might be emotional, but I think for the most part, in regards to like if you're going to rate it out of 10, it'd be lucky if it's more than a 7. But if he left with Gypsy, that would have been like a solid 8 or 9, because we knew that, we knew why Cisco was leaving properly. But now they're sort of forcing in this other Camilla character. Nothing against her, but it just seems like she's a character to literally get Cisco out of the show, for the most part. There was just a mosquito on my arm. It wasn't biting me though, I don't think, unless I just couldn't feel it. What's going on? Stay pressed. Iris is not going anywhere because of tornado twins. I'm guessing there's some Iris drama in the... Iris should be dead. I'm just seeing a couple now. Iris must... Okay, there we go. I was wondering where that comment was coming from. Well, that's the biggest issue now. Once again, let me just set out a platform just to make sure that people know. Do you want me to do some ASMR? I'll do some ASMR right now. Like, oh, actually, no, that's really creepy. Let's avoid that anyway. Just to set out a precedent, not even a precedent, just to set out a platform and just a base. This is not me hating on Candace Patton, okay? First, calm down, okay? So there'd been the other rumors that there was another person leaving. Now, a lot of people, I think, if Cisco leaves and there's another person that's leaving, I think it's Joe. I think if anyone's going to leave outside of, Cisco as well, in the rest of that cast, it's probably going to be Joe West, just because of his injury. I can't see him staying on the show with that injury, especially when he's away from home. He lives in New York, I think, Jesse L. Martin, who plays Joe, and he's in Vancouver, which is like opposite. Such a long flight. So you think he would, not want to be doing that? I think that'd be the best option. So I think Joe's the most likely person to leave. However, if you did lose someone like Caitlyn or even Wells or something like that, I even saw some people saying, oh, Ralph should go as well. And people saying, oh, there needs to be no Team Flash. There needs to be just no Team Flash anymore. It's just Barry. I'm like, that would suck. The show has set this up where Team Flash and that interaction is why the show works. If it was just Barry, it would just... And once again, this is not a dig at Iris. It's just... Or Candace Patton might say, but if it's just say Iris, Barry, and maybe I guess Joe and some stuff, it's just going to be drama. It's just going to be so bleak and boring. Like there would be no like charisma on the show. Barry would try and do it, but Barry would have to be like always focused and head screwed on and stuff like that. He'd not be able... And who would he have the banter with? Is he going to have banter with Iris? No, he's not going to have banter with Iris. He's going to have banter with other people there. You know what I mean? So you can't lose Team Flash. You can lose members of Team Flash. Like, Cisco leaving is going to suck, but I think Team Flash could still work in some way, shape, or form, especially if they bring someone else in. But I saw people saying, like, we need... Team Flash needs to go. It needs to go. It just needs to be Barry and Iris. I'm like, no, that would suck. It'd be so boring. It would suck. It would be boring. I'm sorry. There'd be no banter. There'd be no comedy. And people go, oh, but no, it's good when there's no comedy. Like, it works. Like, sometimes it's really. Did you see the beginning of season 4? Like, there was too much comedy, mate. It's like, yeah, but then like you get to season 3 where it was dark and no one was cracking or smiling. Like, God, Jesus Christ! I feel like just sitting in a room in the dark and just like staring at a wall while it's dark. You know what I mean? So you got to keep Team Flash there. I'm sorry, you got to keep Team Flash there. The actor for Julian Albert actually wants to come back. Yeah, I saw it was like a month or 2 ago or something like that. He said that he wanted to come back to play Julian Albert. I wouldn't mind him coming back because I hated how they ended his character. Look, I wasn't the biggest fan of Julian post Dr. Alchemy. Like, he was okay, but I thought they were like shoehorning him into a lot of things when Dr. Alchemy maybe wasn't relevant. But I liked his character. I think it'd be good if he came back. Is Nora leaving? If Nora stays on, it makes no sense. Like, it literally makes no sense. The fact that she's still here makes no sense. In regards to timeline. You miss Patty Spivot, she wasn't annoying. Sorry, just looking through the chat. It is extremely hot this morning where I am. I don't have the fan on either, so I'm sweltering. Do you think this will affect the Flash views? That's from Viviana. Not dramatically, but I do think people will be like, I think shortly after. So say Cisco leaves in the finale. Hypothetically, Cisco leaves in the finale. It's like oh no, Cisco's going. It's an emotional farewell or whatever. Then we pick up in season 6. I think it will take a couple of episodes in season 6 for people to get the feel of the show and what it's like without Cisco, to determine whether they're going to bother keep watching, or at least watch on a weekly basis. Like, what's the term called? Like, I can't remember what the term is when you watch it, like you line up to watch it, whatever it is. Appointment watching. I think it's appointment watching. I think that's the term to use. Anyway, appointment watching. We'll call it appointment watching. So people just avoid that, and they'll just say record it, and then they might just binge watch 3 episodes every couple of weeks or something like that, or wait till the mid-season break and binge watch the first half of the season, or even wait till the whole season's out and just binge watch the whole season. That's what you'll probably get. Not just because Cisco's leaving, but because maybe the dynamic will change that people might pick up on in like the first handful of episodes. Sorry, of season 6. Are they going to bring Gypsy back? I think, like, the Gypsy ship was sailed, you have to say, just because of what's happened. As I said, the best storyline would have been Cisco leaving at the end, or towards the end of last season with Gypsy. But yeah. That lovely water bottle crunch. Was that loud? I'll try not to use my massive muscles to crush the water bottle next time discussing film. Sorry. Pagey and Mary Sue confirmed. Hashtag exposed. Oh. Wow. Oh. God. Jesus Christ. Calm down there, Eric. Don't hurt my feelings too much. Jesus. It was in November that Tom Felton wanted to return. Yeah, it was like in an interview or something like that. Like a video. I've watched the video. I can't remember when it was though. I think Ronnie's ambiguous death creates an opening of a comeback because we didn't see the body. No, it didn't. I read something where Robbie Amell said that the only reason his character died because he had another show or something like that. I read something where Robbie Amell, who played Ronnie, said that like the only reason his character died was because he had to go another show or something. Like he wasn't going to be able to be there next season. It was something like that. So I'm just looking through the chat. What are you talking about? The Cisco rumor there, ATY or ATI? Not too sure which is the correct way to say it. Oh yeah, Robbie couldn't do Legend of Tomorrow, so that's why they killed him. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. So Robbie Amell, who plays Ronnie Raymond, couldn't do Legends of Tomorrow, and they wanted Firestorm to be one of the main members of Legends of Tomorrow. So that's why they killed off Ronnie and then brought in Jefferson Jackson or Jax to be the other half of Firestorm with Martin Storm. That's what Martin Stein wanted to say. That's what happened. Yeah, I remember something. It was just like a reason that his character died. He wasn't originally meant to. So yeah. Yeah, well, the Cisco with look, not going to say the Cisco thing isn't 100% confirmed because it's just dangerous territory to say something's 100% confirmed. However, it is very, 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 very times 6-9 likely that he will be leaving the show come some point at the end of the season, whether it's the last episode or towards the end. Who do you think the female speedster is that Jay Garrick is training? I don't know. I can't believe we haven't met her this season. Maybe it's Camilla. Maybe Camilla, the girl that Cisco's talking to, is that new speedster. 6-9 will leave prison when he is 69. That's if he pleaded guilty. He's only going to get like 10 years now, and which could be like 5 if he with early parole. So he's only going to get he'll be in prison for like 5 years. 6-9. If Iris quote unquote dies in the next episode, the West Island. Well, I think next episode everyone's gonna die at least once. I think Caitlin's probably gonna die the most because I think in every single scenario on that rooftop, Caitlin's probably gonna die. Maybe, I don't know. Have to wait and see. But I think Ralph, Cisco, Sherlock, and Iris will all die at least once. I think. It once again, like DJ Eric did a video calling Iris as a Mary Sue, and they got to be careful with Iris this season because so far she's what you would call a Mary Sue, like perfect, nothing can go wrong. So they got to be careful with that and actually have some flaws with the character. Hopefully, we see her struggle at some point this season, and not like we really want to see Iris die or fail. It's just that it's it just provides character. It's not cool watching a perfect character. I think I heard about this first from Emergency Awesome or Comic Books versus the World, one of the two, but it was definitely me because I talked about this months ago. Weren't they supposed to introduce the characters of Ralph's wife this season? There was rumors of it. If anyone remembers back to the episode where I think it's the Elongated Night Rises, where it's like Ralph's big episode. He's not interviewing, but he's being interviewed by a TV reporter. And I thought that girl, that lady there, was going to be Sue. I thought he was going to ask, because he was sort of flirting with her. And I thought he was going to ask, what's her name? And she was going to go Sue. I thought that's what it was going to be. But they didn't do that. Now, there's been rumors that Sue Dibney could be appearing this season. I think it's getting a bit too late to do that, to be completely honest. They might save that for next season with Ralph. And for those who are wondering, another romantic thing, it's like, I think with Ralph it would be okay. And also Ralph and Sue are like one of the strongest couples in the comics. Then again, Barry and Iris are as well. And they maybe haven't done the best with that on the show. But, I'd still want to see them try and do that and form that bond that is in the comics. Farewell discussing film. We've been streaming for 25 minutes. Jesus, time is going slow today. Who do you think will die in the Flash next? I guess maybe Nora if they want to do that. She's either going to disappear or sacrifice herself, one of the two. Do you think Icicle is going to come back? It wouldn't surprise me if he's back in episode 18, which is the episode that Daniel Panabaker, who plays Caitlin, is directing. However, sometimes it's weird for that to happen because, if you're directing, you can't actually be in the episode that much. But then Tom Cavanaugh is sort of like proven that wrong. So maybe he's in episode 18, Icicle. If not, then maybe later on the season. You have to think the metahuman cure thing might come back and tied to him. So, yeah. But then again, it would work with Caitlin, I guess, if they tried to make it. Anyway, whatever. Isn't it illegal to be a meta in 2049? No, that's just some Legends thing they did to introduce Zari's character. They've confirmed that isn't canon anymore. That was basically just something to force in Zari's storyline. So I'm looking for the Just looking through the what do you call it? What do we call it? The chat, the stream chat. Pagey equals Deathstroke, maybe. Didn't Julian Albert make a metahuman cure in season 3? It was like a reverse to Killer Frost. But it wasn't like a straight up metahuman cure. It was more he worked with Caitlyn's mother to make some sort of like reverse Killer Frost thing. So it wasn't a straight up metahuman cure from memory. It was just for Killer Frost. Do you think Wally will be a main team member again? No, no way. Am I a DBZ fan? If so, what do you think? I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z since I was like 9 years old or something. Why do I hate Real World of Flash? I'm not too sure if that's a serious question or not. I heard Cisco is moving to DC Legends. Why? You're better off having him on the Flash. I forgot they already mentioned Supergirl couldn't beat Cicada. Well, that was the future Cicada, like the one that the identity was never revealed and stuff like that. It was meant to be what's his name from the comics? David Hirsch. It's meant to be David Hirsch, but then it's changed and now it's Orange Wire is Cicada. So technically, maybe Supergirl could take him down because it's changed up a bit. Kasim with the $2. Thank you very much for that, Kasim. Will Curtis die since he's not in the future? Marker 4 and Arrow. Maybe. It's a possibility. Have to wait and see, though. Because you got to think he might just not be attached to the whole vigilante thing. That could be one thing that happens there. But thank you very much for the super chat, Kasim, there. For real, where does CW's DC TV shows go now? All the shows are losing their luster. Well, you mustn't be watching Arrow, because Arrow's basically got a new lease on life this season. I've already said this, and let me know, once again, I've brought this up in previous streams, but do you think, because I know the answer is yes, but I'd like to hear what you guys think. Do you think The Flash needs to shoot a new showrunner? Because it's just so, because going into this season, I don't know if everyone remembers, but everyone was so hyped. Everyone thought this was going to be one of the best seasons ever. It was going to be bringing back that season 1 feel, which they tried to do in the first couple of episodes with like homages and stuff like that to season 1. But it just feels like, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything that interesting. And that's just a lack of inspiration from the showrunner for the most part. He's really got to be just trying to do some new stuff, which is happening on Arrow this season with Beth Schwartz. She's killing it. And Arrow is easily the best show this season on DC TV. And The Flash just needs a new showrunner. Yeah, everyone's basically saying yes. Who is the showrunner? It is Todd Helbing. He's the only showrunner. Last season it was Andrew Kreisberg and Todd Helbing for like early on, but then Kreisberg got let go for all that stuff, and there was just Todd Helbing, and then he's just the lone showrunner this season. John Jarvis with the £2. Do Danielle Panabaker and Candice Patton hate each other? I have no idea. Apparently there was drama like a season or two ago, but I have no idea if that's still the case. If there is, then it's going to be awkward when Danielle's directing an episode. She just might make Iris stare at a wall the whole episode. Who knows? And T Kane with the $2. Thank you very much for that. You think we will hear more mentions of Red Death? If he's going to be the villain next season, then definitely expect at least 1 or maybe 2 more name drops, similar to DeVoe. So DeVoe last season, we had Abracadabra mention him, and then we had Savitar Barry mention him. So now, so far, we've had Captain Singh in the future, Flash Museum mention him. So maybe we could get Nora mentioning him or something. Like, that'd be something if they want to do Red Death. Personally, if they do Red Death, he's going to be different from the comics. So it's basically just going to be them, like, using the name and then just changing. It's basically almost like Savitar, like, really just using some elements of him but changing a lot of him up. So that's probably what we're going to see with Red Death if they use him. But listen out for him, because I think if he's going to be next season's villain, they'll name drop him a couple of times. At least 1 or 2 more times this season. Have I already talked about Cisco? Yeah, I have. But just to reiterate, it's getting more and more likely that Cisco is actually leaving. Like the CW and not only the CW people and Warner Brothers, but Carlos Valdez is like representatives themselves are just avoiding all questions about it, when usually they would try and shoot down any rumors, but they're just avoiding it, which usually means like, oh shit, they probably don't want to comment and make a slip up and stuff like that. I want the Dark Multiverse. That'd be so cool. I would be surprised if they did Dark Multiverse. I think Red Death would just be something else. And they're just going to use the name for the most part. But they might use like maybe his powers and stuff, and like the different powers he has in comparison to a normal speedster. It'd be cool if they just had the thing where if he touches you, you die. Like you rapidly age and die. Like that'd be a pretty cool thing, and it'd make him pretty lethal. Joseph with the €2. How did Thorn get in prison? They haven't. I'm guessing they're going to explain that this season at some point. I have no idea though. They haven't really hinted at that. I'm guessing maybe just he gets caught. Maybe it's just something simple like that. He gets caught. Yeah. It's hard to even answer because they haven't really suggested anything too heavily. Do you think Arrow will get to season 10? I've heard they want Arrow to get to season 10. For those that don't know, if you get to season 10 in America, it's like a big thing. Like I think if you're a Warner Brothers show and you film on the Warner Brothers studio, like if you hit 10 seasons, you get like a plaque and sometimes a studio named after you. But like it's just a big thing for a show to hit 10 seasons. So I'm sure Arrow would want to hit that along with Flash as well. Is that in response to me, super into gaming? No, the Red Death Flash is basically Bruce Wayne or Batman, but mixed. I know that. I'm just saying that like they won't do that on the show. When is Legends coming? April 1st. April Fool's Day. That's when Legends come back. I couldn't think of a better date for Legends of Tomorrow to come back. Otis Cunningham. That's a very posh name. Otis Cunningham with the $5. I wish they stuck with Caitlyn being a bad guy. Yeah, they should have done some sort of arc with that. But I think once they did the whole thing where she like turned on Savitar, you can't go back to that. I think once that happened, I think the ship had sailed for the most part. Even though they tried to do something in season 4 when like she was working like Amunet and stuff. I think once she turned on Savitar, I think that should have been like, okay, well she's not going to be evil. But then they still floated with that, which is a bit of a waste of time. But thank you very much for that, Otis. Scarlet with the $2. What happened to Blue Beetle for Arrow? Well, for those that might not know this yet, I've talked about this before, but you might have missed. I only mentioned it in one video. There was a Blue Beetle casting for Arrow. That Blue Beetle casting, where it sounded a lot like Blue Beetle, even the audition tape sounded like Blue Beetle, was for Future William on Arrow. So Future William, the one we're seeing, 20 or whatever years it is in the future, that was the character they were looking for with that casting description and audition tape that sounded like Blue Beetle. So, yeah. John Jarvis with the £2 as well. Chance of Barry dying in the next crossover. I'd have to say it's still likely, but they could do it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they replace it where they have like Superman die in the place that Supergirl's meant to die in, and then say like the Earth 90 Flash die in the way that we expect Barry to die as well. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they did that. Like, let's be completely honest. Any chance we could see the Cult of Cicada? I'd like to think what Grace is doing with her like mind things might be able to like sort of influence the Cult of Cicada, but they sort of failed doing the Cult of Savitar, so maybe they might be able to redeem themselves with the Cult of Cicada. Not some massive being, just like, but like influencing people in Central City to hate metas. I think that'd be an interesting thing. Play Fortnite. I have not played Fortnite in God knows how long, or Bieber knows how long. To be honest, this season has been the worst out of all of them. Yeah, because I don't think the opening half was like decent, but it wasn't that great, and the back half isn't like mind blowing. The issue is that like season 4 had like a rough start, but I personally think it had a good back half. Season 3 had a good first half, but had a bad back half. But season 5 just had like, it's just average on both accounts. And if it doesn't end strong this season, then it could actually go down as the worst season. When really, as I was saying before, everyone going into this season was like, oh my god, this is going to be so good. They got some Nora stuff there. Reverse Flash could be coming back in. Wow, just dealing with time travel. It's going to be awesome. And personally, if they stuff it up, I don't know how they managed to stuff it up. I honestly don't know how they managed to stuff it up. It'd almost be impressive how they managed to stuff it up. Yeah, anyway. This season is underrated. Actually, I think it's overrated. I think people are overrating certain aspects of it. If you've watched my reviews this whole season, I've been like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I think there's only been like maybe like 2 very good episodes. I think this problem with season 3 was the switch between CGI Savitar and non. That wasn't the issue. The issue was that they just baited us all. They literally clickbaited us all, and it was just lame at the end. As I said, the beginning of it was fine. Arguably, the first 14 to 15 episodes of season 3 are fine, but then they get into that back third where it just shits the bed, and it's so bad. Like, I don't know who greenlit that and thought that was a good idea. It was bad. That back third of season 3 is not good. I'd watch the first 2/3 of season 3 again easily, but that back third of season 3, I'd be like, oh god, do I want to? Because it wasn't that good. Have I been watching Gotham? I'm 1 episode behind. I know it wasn't on last week, but I need to watch, I think episode 6 or something it is. I need to watch that. Season 3 was 2 completely different seasons. We got Alchemy, then all of a sudden a Savitar. No, I like that. I think the best formula for an Arrowverse show is you have a minor villain which links into the big villain. So the perfect example of this, because it's like probably it's up there as like the number 1 or 2 in regards to the best seasons in the entire Arrowverse. Arrow season 2, you had Brother Blood, and he's there for the whole season essentially, but he's a main player for that first half, which leads directly into Deathstroke and bringing Slade Wilson into it all. That's how you play it out, and that's what they tried to do in season 3. And as I said, it worked. Alchemy was that villain. He was making all these villains. You're like, what's he doing? And then you find out that he's attached to Savitar, and he's basically controlled by Savitar, which was brilliant. That was the best way to do it. And then they lead into Savitar, and then they just lost it. They tried to as I said, making Savitar, like, targeting Iris and all of this, and then Iris not dying and it being an expendable character that dies, and it's a time remnant of barrier. Just like, who thought that up? Who thought that was good? Like, that was bad. At the time, you can go back and watch my videos. I'm like, what? I was just like, what? What is going on here? I reckon if they go back, they would change it. Now, I'm not saying that. I know the whole thing is that they wanted to do the whole like, oh, it's a mystery. Savitar's a mystery. Who's under the mask? Who's Savitar? In the comics, Savitar is just some random dude. He was just like an air pilot that just got in an accident. He just doesn't have an identity, and he just gets his god complex and calls himself Savitar. That would have been better than having it time remnant Barry in this whole Iris storyline. Like, that was crap. And they didn't do anything with... If they did something with Iris where it was just like, oh, yeah, well, they can develop her and it carries on to next season, then awesome. And they tried to do that. But then when we got into season 4, it was like non-existent. Like, it was just like that whole Savitar thing had never happened. And it just felt like a massive waste of time. I kind of just feel baited that Savitar... Well, no, that's the thing. I knew it was. That they confirmed, I think, before the season even started, that Savitar was the villain. And that Alchemy would tie into him. We just didn't know exactly how. And then when they revealed that he was just completely controlled because the Philosopher's Stone, I was like, wow, that's actually really, really good. Season 3, as I said, the first 2/3 are actually pretty well done. It's almost as if like someone came in that had never watched the show before and it was just like a cliche TV writer and just wrote that back third because it was pretty bad. Yeah, season 3, episode 21, when they go to the future, that's yeah, it's still decent. As I said, a bad portion of a season can still have a really, really freaking good episode in it as well, and that future episode was good. But you know why that was? Because it actually showed us the effects of what Savitar did. But that didn't happen. You know, when we carried into season 4, it was almost like season 3 didn't exist. Like, there was no carry on. Apart from Barry going into the Speed Force. But then, like, a couple of episodes after that, it's almost forgotten that Barry was even in the Speed Force in season 4. I want Godspeed before Red Death. I would rather get my foot chopped off before seeing Godspeed. So I guess we're on different wavelengths there, Captain Beast Winger. 150th episode or 100th episode was better for Arrow, like, or 100 Arrow's 150th episode versus Flash 100 episode. Let me know in the chat. I'm not too sure what you're referring to there, Tyshawn. Who's your favorite CW villain? Probably Thorn, probably Eobard Thorn. However, we haven't seen that much of him, like when you think about it. So I always say Deathstroke. Why do I hate Godspeed? It's just a lame. It's just a very. I won't say lame. It's just very average. The reason I get so like against him is just because other people hype him up. I'm just like, he's not that interesting of a character. People like, he's not that interesting. There's many more interesting characters they could do on the show. As I said, most people just want Godspeed because his suit looks cool. Which won't translate to live action that well. Did Tyshawn respond? Tyshawn, mate, where are you? Didn't respond. Okay, we'll just wait to see if he does anything. Godspeed would just be Zoom 2.0. Yeah, spot on, 100%. He's basically just Zoom. My favourite CW villain is the Flash Riders. Wow. Personally, my favourite CW villain is the West Alleners on Twitter, who accuse everyone of being racist. They're a good villain, but maybe the Flash Riders are top. Maybe they just pip them. Maybe. Did I like the musical episode? I didn't mind it. I've seen people saying, oh, we need to do another one. It's like, it was a one-off. It worked in a one-off situation. I don't know how you do it again, unless you bring back Music Meister. So yeah, I think it was a good one-off, but I don't know if we'd have it again. Also, it sort of messed with the back half of season 3 even more than what was already happening. So yeah. Oh shit, we missed a super chat from the Real X Zio 5 minutes ago with the £2. Thank you very much for that. What is going on with the Tornado Twins? So we did a video yesterday on the Tornado Twins. People have been going to me like, oh, Paige, they hired twins to do roles and stuff like that. Usually when it's toddlers, when it's newborns, not that much. Like, it's not usually, because I have a feeling this is just going to be a thing where it's a hospital scene. They walk in, it's like, oh, they're there. It might be they got twins to play the two roles. However, that's usually like for the toddler roles and stuff. Like Full House, I think even Big Daddy did that with the kid. But yeah, who knows what they're doing there? But it just seems like it's a bit. It could be Baby Nora though. This casting, so it could be Baby Nora that we're seeing at some point in the next couple of episodes. I think episode 16 was the episode they were filming on that date that was specified in that casting notice. And then Mauricio Frost with the $2. Thank you very much for that. How would Caitlin Snow having a relationship work with Killer Frost? It's just mental, I guess. I'm guessing it's just a mental thing. As I said, they've been inconsistent with Caitlin in regards to just laying out how Killer Frost works. Because before it was like, oh, it's behind this wall, and they just, Killer Frost just comes out and takes control at certain points. But now they're like, they can just talk to each other without even that mental thing, like the cerebral inhibitor thing, whatever it was on his head. So on her head, sorry. So they've been inconsistent with it. That's probably the biggest thing that's been an issue with Killer Frost, is just they haven't been consistent with it. Because when she's Killer Frost and they do it right, she's, no pun intended, but one of the coolest characters on the show. RF saying Killer Frost is also a garbage character. I disagree a lot. When she's Killer Frost and they do her right, easily one of the coolest characters on the show. Like her and Barry, coolest characters on the show. As I said, no pun intended there. Or maybe a pun intended, who knows. But it's just, outside of that, they just have lacked some proper development or just consistency with that development with the character. Scarlet Lightning 86 for the $2. Rumor of a spin-off for Jessica Parker Kennedy. I've heard that they want to keep Nora on in the universe somehow because, well, I don't know. I think, like, let me know in the comment section in the chat. Rate Nora. This is like not a hot or not in regards to looks, but in regards to a character and like how much you like Nora as a character. Rate her out of 10 for me in the comments, because in the stream chat, because I think going into the season, a lot of people are looking forward to Nora, but as the season has moved on, people are like, oh, I'm not that into Nora anymore. Oh, I'm not, yeah. It's like people are sort of getting turned off Nora a bit. For me, I think she's still like a solid 6.5 or 7 or something like that. But I don't think you could give her any more than that, just because she's just doing a lot to maybe like make people not really like her, if that makes sense. The spin-off, I think if they're going to do it, would be Legion of Superheroes. I think that's the easiest way to do it, Legion of Superheroes. So I'm seeing a lot of like 4s, 5s, 6, a decent amount of 7s, 8s. I've seen a couple of 8s. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 4s. So like, a lot of them are like around that, 6 or under. Easily a 4. 7 because Jessica Parker Kennedy is hot AF. Well, I said not to take that into account, so we'll take off 3 points there, Callum. So you're giving her a 4, I'm guessing. I asked people to rate Nora as a character out of 10. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I've said this before. I think it's so blatantly obvious that Nora was written to be like a teenager, maybe at the oldest, maybe like 20, but at least like 16 to 18 years old. She was written to be that old. But then when Jessica Parker Kennedy was there, they were just like, well, we have to cast her. She was just like too good for the role. And also Todd Helbing knew her from Black Sails and I think another show as well. So he already knew of her. So it was easy to bring her into the whole thing. So it just seems they've brought in a character, Jessica Parker Kennedy's like 30 something to play like a late 20s, like 27 or something, but then she's still acting like she's 16 or 15, Fair enough, in the future they might be all immature, but it just seems a bit a bit random. But I think the spin-off for Jessica Parker Kennedy, if they're going to do one, or for Nora Allen, would be Legion of Superheroes. I don't think you chuck her on Legends. You could, I guess, but I think, from what I've heard, they want to do a show with her as one of the main characters. I guess they would still be on Legends, but I guess they'd start one. And Legion of Superheroes sounds like the way to go. And they've already sort of set that up on Supergirl last season. So I think you could easily do that, especially post-Crisis as well. But Mauricio Frost with the $2 through Super Chat, I meant like love interest, dang, instead I gave all my... Okay, that's okay. I don't know if you could really do that. I guess you could do it. I don't know how you would express that, but I guess it could somehow work. I guess a love interest thing between Caitlin and Killer Frost. I guess they already sort of care for each other. I don't know if you could do it like a love interest though. It'd be very new. It'd definitely be new on TV. That's my problem with her. Nora is acting way too much like a little kid. She should have more common sense about the decisions she's making. Yeah, that's the case. I think that's the thing that I think people are getting annoyed with in regards to Nora. But I've said this, like, Nora in most episodes will take one step forward, do something really good, but then she'll take 2 steps back because she'll do something really silly. You know what I mean?
This house is bitchin'.
Jupiter Carter with the £5. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I'm an Oliveri shipper. If Cicada catches Barry and Oliver making out in the cortex, he will explode with rage. Barry and Oliver retire free. Fair enough. I've seen that Oliveri on what do you call it? Twitter every now and then. But fair enough, Jupiter Carter. Fair enough. It'd be one hell of a scene. I'll tell you that. It'd be one hell of a scene. I wonder how Cicada would react. Anyway. Nora is Bart Allen. Yeah, basically Nora is like an amalgamation of like XS, Jenny Ognatz, Dawn Allen, and then Bart Allen. She's just a combination of all these characters. Which you could say is a mistake or an easy way just to kill a couple of birds with one stone, but yeah. Do you think the show needs a new showrunner? I think it definitely needs a new showrunner. Like, The Flash is just lacking... It's just lacking, like, innovation. Like, everything's the same. Like, even when they're trying to do stuff that, like, comes across as new, it's not new. It's just that we haven't had it since, like, season 1. And they are... I personally think this, and let me know if you agree with me in the chat. I think they're personally treating the Flash audience like we're dumb. Like, we are... like brain dead, because they are basically just putting all this stuff from season 1. They must be there going like, they must be there in the boardroom going like, okay, tell me, Frank, you've been here for 1 minute, you know nothing about the show, you've watched season 1, episode 1, that's the only thing you've watched this show. What are we putting in season 5? Time Vault, Reverse Flash, inspirational messages, okay. Some weird science. Okay, so we're basically making season 5 of The Flash just what season 1, episode 1 was, but not as good. Okay, awesome, Frank. Thank you for your first day here and that 40 minutes you spent watching episode 1. That's what it basically seems like. It just seems like there's no innovation. Anything that seems new is just from a previous season, most likely season 1. That just seems what it is. Don't hire anyone with the last name Chibnall. Not too sure what the reference is anyway. But it just seems that's what's happening this season. And I think if you get a new showrunner, just a breath of fresh air, someone that's maybe used to the show, maybe an old writer that maybe hasn't written too much but knows a decent amount of the show, that's probably the way to go. It just matters if they have the balls to do that. I don't know what Todd Helbing, like what his reputation is in regards to all of this, whether he has a great reputation or not. But he's not that good of a showrunner. I think he's a good writer, but I think he has the same issue as Guggenheim from Arrow. Mark Guggenheim, great writer, really good writer. He's written some of the best episodes of Arrow, but he can't showrun for shit. He's terrible at showrunning. He's terrible at managing all this stuff and managing storylines and stuff. And I think Todd's fallen into that as well. This season was supposed to be about Barry's legacy. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, oh, it's Barry's legacy, but really it's been like crawling along, them trying to get to that theme. If anything, it's more about like Reverse Flash's legacy, if anything. Maybe Helbing's brother, he was attached. Aaron Helbing was on. Him and Todd, like the Helbing brothers were like a team. Like they were on Black Sails together. I think Spartacus as well. And then they came to the Flash and stuff like that. Honestly, I just want someone new. I just want someone new that hasn't been a showrunner before. Just, you know, like what they did with Beth Schwartz on Arrow. What do you think about the meta tech? We haven't seen it for a bit, but I don't mind the meta tech. I think it's a bit over the top in some cases, but I don't hate it. Because it could create some cool things, you know? I think the biggest issue is like if the meta tech is what's got the powers, how can certain people be protected from it? Like Weather Witch, how can she just like travel through lightning and stuff? You know, it doesn't make sense 100%. Yeah. Nora is the main character of this season. Barry feels like a support character in his own show. Yeah, basically. It's basically the XS, not the Flash this season. Beth Schwartz is the new Flash showrunner. I prefer she just stuck to Arrow and just made Arrow good, but there'd be examples. Like if you went through the Flash writers, like the people that have written episodes and stuff, I'm sure you'd be able to pick out maybe 2 or 3 names that could potentially be good showrunners for the show. But you need to make sure that they just know what they're doing, you know, and they understand all the characters, so they aren't going to be biased. Because that was like one thing that maybe Guggenheim did. He was very biased to a couple of characters, while I think Beth Schwartz is very unbiased to all the characters. She just treats all the characters equally. Yeah, Tyshawn came and said, yeah, Arrow 150 episode was better or Flash 100th episode. I personally think the Arrow 150 episode was better because the Flash 100th episode was really good, but it didn't embrace an anniversary episode. Like, we didn't see that much come back. I would have preferred to see more returning characters, and the Arrow just nailed that in regards to how many returning characters we got. Nora CIV donated $2. Thank you very much for that. What's your favorite meta weapon? I do love cars. I do like driving, so I didn't mind the meta key thing. That would be pretty cool, just to jump in any car and use that. I guess Cicada's dagger is pretty cool. That's technically meta tech. Oh no, it's not meta tech, is it? Because it wasn't tech to begin with. It's a meta weapon. It's a meta item. It's a meta weapon, I guess. So I guess Cicada's dagger would count. Did I just like knock my microphone out? I just heard a beep. I don't know if that was my microphone or not. Let me have a look quickly. Am I talking still? Like I am. Oh, good. Don't worry. I'd probably say the car key. Like if I had to choose one I wanted, I'd say the car key. Did you see Real World of Flash's post about the theory about Season 6? I can open up it on my phone right now and go to Instagram and have a look. Will it be bogus? Who knows? Let's have a quick look. Real World of Flash. Real World of Flash. What is it? I can't... Is there a thing here for Season 6? I can't see anything. You might have to just tell me what it is, because I can't see anything. How did Cicada beat Supergirl if her powers don't come from dark matter? Well, that was the David Hirsch Cicada, so it could have been different. He wasn't. That wasn't the Orange Wire one. It's the second to last post. Second to last post. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds very unflash. I don't know if that'd be the case. I just read it then. Pick one. Tom as an actor or Tom as a director, which would be better for the show. Tom as an actor. Directing, you don't do that much on the show. Like, if you're a director for an episode, you really don't get that much control. That's why I've always said, like, I like Kevin Smith, but when an episode's good, it's not because of Kevin Smith. It's because the writing was good. Kevin Smith can only do so much. He can only basically maybe choose how certain angles are shot or how maybe a character interprets a line. The actual writing and stuff is different. You know, that's just the writers. The director doesn't... It's not like a director on a movie where they basically get all the praise. On a TV show, it's much, much different. So I prefer him as an actor. Like, when he's directing, he wouldn't really do too much different. Was there flooding out your way? No, there's no flooding near me. It rained, but the one night it poured down rain while I was driving. And it was scary. It was like windy and rainy. I thought I was going to goddamn die. It was ridiculous. How would I rewrite season 5? Just probably not have Nora in it, to be completely honest. So I don't have Nora as like that much of a thing. Like, I think they should have made it, if they're going to bring Nora into the season, they should have had it that maybe Nora warns them of what's happening, but can't stay in the past too long. Like, if she stays there too long, it's going to affect her. They should have done something like that, so she's not the main character, and then there can be some stuff with Team Flash outside of Nora being there. That's like on the spot. If I wanted to, I could probably do a bit. I did a video on the. I think I did a video how to rewrite season 3 and maybe some of season 4. I did a video like that last season, so I might do. I want to wait till the end of the season though. So after this season ends, if it's not that good, I'll do a video on how I would have done it or how the certain changes they could have made. Because they could nail it, as I said in these last couple of episodes. Okay, sorry. Hassan with the $2. Thank you very much for that. Will Cicada die this season? Maybe. I'd have to think. He's at least stopped. But then I guess the issue is, like, in the future after 2024, does Grace still become Cicada? Like, that's the big question there. It also matters if he's being fully controlled or not. Like, they got to like establish whether it's actually Orlin doing this or not. I have to wait and see. But I'd probably say yes. I'd probably say yes. Anthony Clem with the $2. Do you get tired of the agenda-related episodes? Sort of. I hate it when they do like any sort of like agenda or like try and force any sort of like propaganda-esque episodes. That's why people have always asked me like, why aren't you looking for? I know this is getting off topic, but like, you know, to answer that, like, yes, I don't like it when the Arrowverse does agenda-related episodes. But people have asked me like, why am I not looking forward to Captain Marvel? Because literally the promotional material looks like propaganda. Like, it is literally propaganda. And then trying to like force this agenda down everyone's throats. I'm like, I hate when movies try and do that. Wonder Woman didn't try and do that. Literally all you do, Captain Marvel, MCU, which you've avoided all this like SJW like stuff from what Marvel shoves down people's throats in the comics. I'm surprised they've avoided that in the MCU the whole time, and now when Captain Marvel comes in, it all of a sudden pokes its head out and goes, "Hello, I'm here. I'm back from the comics." I'm surprised they are allowing that to happen, but that's what the movie might not be there. The movie could be great, but the promotional material is just, you know, all that agenda stuff and borderline propaganda. Do you want Titans on the Arrowverse crossover? That's from Jesus Mosqueda or Mosqueda. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry if I'm not. I'm sorry. Terrible with names. But you know, he donated $2. Yeah, do you want Titans on the Arrowverse crossovers? It'd be cool, but they're obviously in a different universe. I think I've already confirmed that. It looks like we're getting a different Wally West in like the DC universe storyline. DC universe, like the streaming service stuff. Looks like they've casted their Wally West. So it's separated. So I'd like to see it, but it won't happen, unfortunately. And then Hassan with the $2 as well. Why haven't they explained Nora moments from season 4? Exactly, Hassan with the $2. They said, well, they were going to explain that. They were going to explain why she specifically went to though each of those moments in the past. They still haven't done that. But granted, there's still like 9 episodes left for this season, and they could explain that, especially if there's like a big context episode in regards to like her talking to Reverse Flash. Like, I told you to go back to this and this and this and this for this specific reason. They just give us a lot of context in regards to all of that. But yeah, so we have to wait and see, I guess, if they ever do that. And then Jake here with the $2 as well. When will we see what happened to Barry in 2024? I'm guessing in the Crisis crossover next season. That's basically what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to spoil anything in regards to that this season. I think they'll save that till next season for that crossover. Okay, well, that went quick. I was sort of like, 25 minutes is going slow, and then all of a sudden we're past an hour. I'm just going to look through the chat quickly, and we'll answer a couple more questions before we leave. I want Grant to have a cameo in the Flashpoint movie. That'd be cool. Just the Flash movie in general would be pretty cool if they had a cameo from Grant. Captain Matville. Yeah, that's basically the way I feel. I don't know how people... I think it's just because it's a female movie, I'm guessing. But it's still got to be good. Like, it's still got to look good. The trailers haven't been good for them. The only trailer that was half decent was the third trailer, I think, which is like the second official trailer, I think. That was like the only one that was like, okay, that looks half decent. And then they went back to average promotional material after that. What happened to the new Rogues? I think they're coming back later in the season. I don't know specifically when, but they definitely teased that Spin was coming back, so I don't know. Hopefully it's not too late, and then they just randomly bring them back in. Unless they're setting up for next season. I don't know. Is that Reverse Flash suit from the Mind episode, the new suit? That's the same suit from season 1. How much of next year's seasons of Flash and all will be dedicated to Crisis? Only the crossover eps or more? I'd say there's going to be like minor setup into the crossovers, into the Crisis crossover, but it won't be like major focus, I don't think. Apart from maybe they might do like one episode where like something happens where it's like, oh, this is weird, and it does lead into that, but I wouldn't expect like, say the crossovers are in episode 8 or something, or 9, I wouldn't expect from like episode like 5 to 8 or something that they'd be doing all this setup. They might just do set up like the episode before or something, and not even in every episode. But they might, if anything, they might just bring in characters that are going to be involved in the Crisis crossover. So like Supergirl might bring in a random like new character or two. Same with Flash, same with Arrow, even same with Legends and stuff, just to bolster that roster for the crossover. You realise they cancelled the Flash movie until further notice. Well, you don't cancel a movie until further notice. You put it on hold. And it was, yeah. So I think the Flash movie is probably going to film probably early next year. Maybe like around maybe this time next year. Maybe like a month after. So yeah, they'll do the Flash movie. I don't know why people are freaking out about it. They'll do the Flash movie. It's just that I'd rather them get it right. Flash is like not a hard character to do, but he's definitely an easy character you can stuff up. So they sort of need to take the time with it, I prefer. Yo, Pagey, you see that Chris Wood and Melissa Benoist got engaged? I saw it when I opened up Instagram. Okay, well, yeah, I didn't look at the photo probably. I just saw the caption, but yeah, she's got an engagement ring on. Okay, well then congratulations to those two. Which is interesting. I think a lot of people were predicting when they got together that they wouldn't last because of Melissa Benoist's past. But yeah, I guess congratulations are in order. But that's a bright way to finish off the stream. I'm sure Canada Graphs is over the moon with the engagement between Melissa Benoist and Chris Wood. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. No shows on today, but tomorrow we'll have Arrow, and looking forward to it. And then the day after that we have The Flash. So you've got 2 good days of TV coming in. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you have a nice day, night, morning, 4 a.m., 6 a.m., breakfast, whatever it is where you are. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow for Arrow. And until then, yeah, I'll catch you later. Goodbye.